Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, man. So big news here. Graham Platner, the Democrat socialist, because he's a Democrat and a Democrat socialist from Maine, just won their primary to run for the Senate, has canceled all upcoming events, just canceled them. And it's being widely reported that there is an upcoming scandal about Graham Platner. And you got to really ask yourself, what could be more scandalous than being a Nazi? Graham Platner, they have until the middle of July for him to drop out and be replaced on the ballot. So they're up against the clock, and the polls are showing Susan Collins ahead. None of us like rhinos, but some rhinos you could do nothing about. They're there, and the only service that rhinos provide, especially in the Senate, is towards our majority. And, so Susan Collins, sadly, is something we've got to tolerate and put up with just for the Republican count. But I've been, I saw this story a couple hours ago. It leaked out about Graham Platner. And I'm like, and I've been thinking since then, there's a scandal that's coming up with Graham Platner. Whatever the scandal is, it's so big that he's canceled all future campaign events, and they're saying it's going to cause him to drop out of the race. And I'm thinking to myself, what is so scandalous that Trump's being a Nazi? Yeah. And, also this, most of these politicians that drop out still think they've got a political career ahead of them. Graham Platner knows very well he has no political career. But what it says about the Democrat Party, Graham Platner, what it says about the Democrat Party is really frightening. That the Democrats are willing to put a Nazi, and this guy's Nazi tattoo is over his heart. He never had the tattoo removed. He claims to have had another tattoo put over it, and I'm not so sure I buy that. I mean, when's the last time you've seen this guy with his shirt off? And how do we know that if there is a tattoo there, how do we know it's a real tattoo and not like a henna tattoo? You know what I mean? But what does it say about the Democrats? Well, the thing with Graham Platner and the Democrats, and they have, they're now run by the Democrat Socialist of America. And we know what Democrat Socialist of America are. The president tells us this. They're communists. We know they're communist. There's no question that the Democrat Socialist of America are communist. And Graham Platner, the Democrat Socialist of America don't understand America. Do you remember many years ago, goes way back, remember Paris Hilton had that reality show with Nicole Richie, Lionel Richie's daughter? Remember this many years ago? And, Paris Hilton, this was over 20 years ago. It was one of the first reality shows right after Survivor became a hit. And she went to Walmart, and she didn't know what Walmart was. At least she said. She's like, is that where you buy stuff for a wall? She didn't know what Walmart was, right? That's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Well, that's how the Democrat Socialist of America commies are when it comes to the American people, because the Democrat Socialist of America are made up of a couple of different kinds of people. Foreigners, we see a lot of those like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and others. Foreigners and millennials that are so self-important and think there's some intellectual elite that went to some Ivy League somewhere, but they're idiots. They don't have a lick of common sense. And what they've been doing with these Democrat socialists is casting. And they're finding Democrat socialists that they think fit in their neighborhood. AOC was the first test and was very successful. And what they did with AOC, it was like, from the Bronx, right? They were casting Annette Funicello in West Side Story, Natalie Wood. They were casting Natalie Wood in West Side Story. Well, West Side Story, New York, she's a Latina, Puerto Rican American. Okay, she's got the job. You fit the bill. And Graham Platner, they think fits the bill of the average, everyday Joe. That's it. Like Joe the plumber. They think that Graham Platner is like Joe the plumber. Well, he's a lot different than Joe the plumber. Well, Joe the plumber sadly is no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago. He was a good guy. They should exhume his body and do a test because the left really hated him. They should test him for some poison. Wouldn't surprise me. And they figure white guy, doesn't brush his hair, wears ball caps all the time, and he's got a Nazi tattoo. That's perfect casting. That's your average white guy. They'll vote for. He's anything but your average white guy, and people don't like Nazis. And they knew about that Nazi tattoo. I don't believe that they did not. They did a vetting of this guy. They knew. They're trying to act like they didn't know about the Nazi tattoo. But this is coming in. It's all over social media. Maine Senator candidate Graham Platner has unexpectedly canceled all upcoming events. Political polls, Graham Platner has canceled a campaign event for unclear reasons. The cancellation comes as polls are testing other candidates against Susan Collins, while rumors continue to circulate about a possible new scandal involving Platner. So they're testing out other candidates. It's a little too late for that, right? A little too late. And what they're doing at Joe Biden here, right? They're looking to give someone the nomination for the Democrat Senate seat in Maine who didn't win the primary. And that person is someone you got to watch out for because they could even be more scandalous than him. They plug him in at the last minute. They're unvetted. And, you know, these people that are no more kings, they just had a presidential candidate, Kamala, Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris, that didn't run in any primaries, gave her the nomination. And now they're looking to give someone the Senate nomination in Maine who didn't win a primary. Sounds like they're the ones that are in the kings and royalty and all that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Jeff from Maine.
Oh, hey, Jeff. Oh, big news coming down from Maine. You're right there at ground zero.
Yep, and I'm telling you, I was in the Marine Corps when I was 23 years old, and I would have never, and no one I served with would have ever thought of getting a Nazi tattoo. That guy's off his rocker. He deserves to be in no political office at all.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this the scandal. Last week he was speaking at Planned Parenthood, and he said that he went to Planned Parenthood and found out he had a sexually transmitted disease a week ago. He's got a Nazi tattoo, an STD. None of that washed him out. What could it possibly be? What could be worse than a Nazi with a sexually transmitted disease? If that didn't knock him out, what do they got?
I can't remember what age it was. I think it was 26. He claimed he was in line with being a communist.
Yeah.
It's on record somewhere. I was just reading it. That disgusts me. The guy served the country, and how could he come to that conclusion in his right mind? The guy's not in his right mind. All the denouncing a Purple Heart veteran that he didn't deserve.
Yeah.
Receiving a Purple Heart.
Yeah.
And Maine women getting too effed up that they end up having sex with someone they don't mean to. That's called rape.
Yeah.
I mean, this goes on and on and on, and it's just.
He also said that he also said black people don't tip.
Oh, and he said rural Mainers are stupid or ignorant. Maine
Really?
locked them in. He put down the police. I mean, I'm telling you, the stuff I'm hearing up here about what he's done, he doesn't not only deserve to be on that ticket.
Well, I mean, think about this, okay? Now, all these things that you listed are true, but they've got something that's new. They said there's a new scandal. So I'm trying to think what's worse than all these things. I can't wait to find out.
I don't want to say because
don't say.
It's probably something. Yeah, it's probably something really out there.
It could be that he used to be a registered Republican. You never know. That would be over the line for them.
Oh yeah, I don't know how they could do that.
We'll find out.
Because yeah, right. But Brian, there's a lot of people in Maine disgusted with over this, and they were saying it was neck and neck, and she was up a couple 3 points.
Yes.
Well, I have a feeling if that the polls that they're doing, if she's up 2 or 3, she's up 10 to 20. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of Democrats over the years that have voted for Susan Collins. And as Republicans, we've always said we'll vote for Susan Collins over any Democrat any day of the week.
Especially a Nazi.
So, yes. And Brian, it's absurd that we're talking about this. And I'm embarrassed that Mainers would recommend someone with that history, knowing it, and put him up against someone that's been there. She just cast how many votes in a row, broke a record. I mean, she's always there. She doesn't always vote MAGA, but when it counts, she does.
Well, so, and she counts towards our majority. So we need that right now.
Right. And Brian, this is happening all over America. They're showing people that are Democrats their real true colors, and we've always said the Democrats just keep opening their mouth and showing people how bad they are, and they're getting worse, Brian.
I know. Well, hopefully tonight this will break, because this is really gaining steam today. So we're going to find out soon, and call me tomorrow morning on the morning show if it breaks, and we'll talk about it. I hope we know by then.
I will, Brian. God bless you, and God bless everybody listening.
All right, Jeff in Maine. All right, good call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Nick from Baltimore.
Hey, Nick.
And let me do my jock voice. And the hits just keep on coming.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, this is exciting.
I'm just loving all of it. It's great. The Democrat Party's imploding. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question, and it's great following Jeff from Maine. I love his calls, too. Let me just ask you a question, and I think you touched on this a few days ago. Do you think they're purposely trying to blow the party up?
The Democrat Socialists are. Yeah, the Democrat Socialists aren't worried right now about winning the House or the Senate. They just want to take over the party. See, the thing about it is, third parties don't work.
The money.
Yeah, well, it's not just money. Third parties don't work. To start a third party is a losing proposition. So they're taking over the Democrat Party because they have an infrastructure in place nationwide. So that's what they're doing. They're really, I mean, if you want to tell it, be honest with us, they're modeling what they're, how I always tell people, if you want to be successful, find someone who's successful at what you want to be successful at and model them. They're modeling their strategy after President Trump's strategy, right? President Trump didn't start a third MAGA party. He took back the Republican Party, and he's primarying out the rhinos. They're doing the same thing, the Democrat Socialists to the Democrats.
They're trying to change the party. I think this morning you said that you're going to change the name of you think they're going to change the name of the party.
At some point.
And I think you're right.
Yeah, at some point they will.
Yep, I think you're right. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll get out of the way and let other people
All right, take care.
Great show.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, I was on Newsmax today. Very exciting. Here's me on Newsmax today, and I was on there. It was around 12:40 this afternoon, and Shannon Cake was hosting. And you may not recognize me because I'm wearing a suit and tie, but that's me if you're watching on YouTube. And I'm wearing a Trump tie. That's one of my Trump ties that my wife got me. And I'm wearing a suit and my Trump tie. That's right. And Shannon Cake was hosting, and then I was debating this Democrat. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
So I'm from Brad Sexton from Harrisville, Missouri.
Hey, Missouri, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, I've been hearing a lot of the news today about Graham Platner. I saw you guys were talking about the last guy from Maine.
Yep.
Was interesting. And, it's pretty shocking, a little bit disturbing, seeing all those scandals that Graham Platner has had. So, and seeing that, we all know about the Nazi tattoo, which... The funny thing, I had to look that up and see what that, scan at the picture he had, and let me tell you, it's a little bit disturbing from my wife.
Well, and it's what'd you say?
No, I said it's pretty disturbing what I saw from that Nazi tattoo.
Oh yeah, and the Nazi tattoo. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. The Nazi tattoo. There's two things about it. Okay, it's over his heart, which
Right.
means it's extra special to him. And also, it's not your standard swastika. It's worse. It's a Nazi tattoo for the Nazis that put the Jews in the showers and the ovens. So it's the Nazis that the other Nazis were even afraid of. I mean, it's the worst of the Nazis.
Correct, and that's why I looked that up. And then the funny thing is, like this was a couple days before I talked to you. So like I was going on a deal. I called from like some liberal who was kind of from Texas, from Dallas, Texas, and the other one was like Amanda, Amanda something from Florida. Yeah, from Florida. Information, that's what it said on her account. And let me tell you, they kept denying that every single time when I mentioned that about that tattoo thing, which it's just like, you know.
Well,
like,
Democrats gaslight themselves, you know, and we've talked about forever that Democrats would vote for Hitler if he had a D next to his name on the ballot. And we see that with Graham Platner, a real-life Nazi. And they've all been, he's got the endorsement of Chuck Schumer and other top Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on the Stop Oligarchy tour with Bernie Sanders for weeks.
Yeah, well, Bernie Sanders, well, we all know let's be honest, he's a clown pretty much.
No, but
we all know
Bernie Sanders is a Jew, and he's out there campaigning and endorsing a Nazi.
Correct.
So, I mean, what the heck?
That's what I mean. Yeah, and I agree with that. And that doesn't make any sense. He's Jewish, but you're supporting a guy with that tattoo on, with a Nazi tattoo. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't understand how a party like the Democrat Party, who's been around for a long time, like they got into more the DSA, more the Socialist Party, which it doesn't make any sense how this party, like over time, they have not learned from 2 years ago, and they still don't learn.
Well,
and they still,
but you know what, though?
The
Democrats have always been communist. You know, Woodrow Wilson, the Democrat president, Woodrow Wilson, who was the Democrat president during World War I, he gave us the income tax, right?
I remember that.
Okay, he gave us the income tax. We got and then the first socialism in the government began with the New Deal, with Franklin Roosevelt, a Democrat,
FDR.
And then Lyndon Johnson gave us Medicare, Medicaid, and all of that, which was the final socialism. And there's been a lot of things in between, but the Democrats have always been communist. And I'll tell you, you don't call them DS. They want you to call them the DSA, so that you don't say they're the Democrat Socialist of America.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Right.
which is a cover for the communists. They are communist.
Right. And I think that's what I'm noticing lately. People, like I noticed about what Trump, he's calling them a communist, that socialist. It's because it's explained what they are as their party, as a candidate. They're adding.
Correct.
And it doesn't make. Yeah, and I agree with that. And it's like, come on, I understand these are in deep blue places. I get it in deep blue places. But that does not work out here in the heartland where I'm from in Missouri. So it doesn't work up in the Midwest. I can tell you that.
The communism, they are most of what you have. What they have is a Generation Z that don't want to work, right? They want to sit at home all day.
Oh yeah.
And if you're part of Gen Z and you're a bum and you sit at home all day, communism sounds pretty good. You have the guaranteed housing as one of the things they talk about. So they set you up in everything so you can just sit at home online and game and watch porn online all day and never have to get a job.
Yeah.
So communism, communism sounds good to them.
Correct. And then I think that's a part of it, being young, being an 18-year-old, just being a little, let's say, the lazy side, and don't understand about life very well. For me, because I'm 30 years old, I'm a millennial. Kind of like us millennials, we were like, it was that same thing with millennials, that same way. But we had to grow out and come of age a little bit more to understand more.
Well, millennials, a lot of millennials, I love it. Millennials, sometimes they'll call me and they'll say, I'm a millennial, and then they'll say nothing. And a lot of millennials, they think they're like some oracle of knowledge. Just because you're a millennial doesn't mean you invented the internet or had anything to do with it. You just happen to be born during that time. Yeah, the millennials are the most self-important generation alive today. They've done nothing for the most part and think there's something special because all this technology that millennials try to take credit for was invented by baby boomers and Generation X.
Correct. Okay, I agree with that.
Not millennials.
And yes, and I agree with and that it shows that there's guys from who created the technology before the millennials came around. There was a lot of people from the boomers and the Gen Xers that created the computers and all the technology. And millennials, I think, cause we think about it, because millennials were born from 81 to 96, where last year I was born, I was born in 96 at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you go through that age. We just we were born those times before social media. And think about it. That's just, and yes, and millennials didn't create very much. They may create some here and there, but it wasn't that actual true technology that.
But they think they have. But they think they have.
And that's true. And that's just sometimes a little bit ignorance at times, a little bit. In my opinion, it can be. I think, and I'll admit this: as a millennial, we were told to say, from the boomers or whatever. My dad's told me this before. He said, if you work hard and get ahead, the example. I'm thinking you heard of that term before.
Sure.
Work hard, get ahead, and we did that. And since we've been doing it for so many years, since we went through that financial crisis, and people say, "Oh, we haven't gotten."
Well, there's always ups and downs, but I'll tell you, they killed the most important millennial of all. The Never Trumpers assassinated the most important millennial, and that, of course, was Charlie Kirk. And the pretrial hearing of his assassin began today. Poor Erica Kirk. I saw her going into the courtroom today. Just so sad. It was so sad. Hey, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call.
Yeah, it was good talking to you. It was great. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you'd like to call in, please do. If you're watching live on YouTube, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm excited that Graham Platner looks like he's dropping out, according to all the reports, because I'm not comfortable with a Nazi winning. And I'm not saying, he's behind in the polls. Susan Collins has jumped a few points up in the polls, but, it's too close for comfort. And having an American Nazi win an election like this, to be a senator, being a senator is a big deal. Being in Congress in general is a big deal, but a House seat is just 2 years. In the Senate, they're in there for 6 years. And to have a Nazi elected to the Senate, no, that's bad news. It's bad news. It's a dangerous precedent. And whoever they plug in is going to fail because, it's just, it would have to be, if they brought in I've seen this happen before where there's been some kind of, they did this in, I'll give you a great example. This is the perfect example. It was in Minnesota years ago when Paul Wellstone died. They brought Walter Mondale, who was from Minnesota, to run for the Senate. This guy had been vice president of the United States, and Walter Mondale was also the nominee of the Democrat Party for president of the United States in 1984. And he couldn't win the special Senate race. So, when they take somebody out like this, like Graham Platner, after the primaries are done and they try to plug somebody in, typically it doesn't work out well for the party that does that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You're on the air. You got to turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to me on.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Ronan Lee. I've called in before.
Okay, what's on your mind?
I'm trying to understand, what's conservative actually mean? What are Republicans actually conserving?
What conservatives are about are conservative values, and just to sum it up, as if you don't know, I'm going to answer your question, okay, but I'm going to talk to the audience first. Liberals, Democrats like to ask these stupid questions. Define communism. Define conservatism. Like we don't know. Okay, you're the ones on. You're the short school bus crowd. This is what conservatives are. No. Excuse me. I'm answering your question. What you asked? No. I'm talking to the audience. I'm not talking about you. narcissist.
Yeah, you're insulting me.
I'm talking about Democrats. I'm not talking about you individually, narcissist.
But I don't know what conservative means.
I'm going to tell you. You asked a question. What are conservatives?
Well, don't insult me.
You asked a question, and the question was, what are conservatives conserving? We're conserving American values. Okay, we support traditional American values, which mainly are freedom, liberty.
How do you do that? How do you conserve American values?
Well, because the Democrats are trying to destroy American values. There's a Muslim mayor of the city that was ground zero for 9/11. They have communists running for the House of Representatives and Senate seats all over the country. They have a communist running for mayor of Los Angeles. All right, they got a commie mayor in Seattle. Those are not American values.
Okay, but when you say conservative, that is fiscal conservative.
It can be fiscal and other things as well.
And so you're saying the fact that we're conserving American values, it's okay to just spend money.
Well, the government does spend money, but the United States is doing something under Donald Trump that's never been done before. The government of the United States is actually turning a profit. There's some private corporations that the U.S. government now owns a percentage of. There's the tariffs, as an example. So President Trump is doing things for the United States to generate income, generate money.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Well, how come it's when the dumb liberals or whatever you're talking about, I think they're feckless, actually, the Democrats. But I'm saying, though, when you say that they are conserving, I mean, we're spending money to do all these things that Trump's saying. How come this whole thought process of it getting to the people just doesn't happen?
Because we're not communist. We're not communist.
Hold on a second.
What do you mean getting to the people? What does that mean?
Okay, well, what I'm saying is usually when companies make a profit, it goes to the shareholders, not to the employees. Like, they don't get any raises at all, but the shareholders get a bump. And now that the conservatives, quote unquote, have more power, it's not getting to the people again. It's just when the conservatives.
I don't understand what you mean getting to the people.
What I'm saying is when the conservatives and the Republicans make shit tons of money for the country, the people don't see it.
Sure you do.
It's just what are we seeing as far as the people?
Well, I don't know what kind of profession you're in. But, when companies are successful, they grow, and it creates more jobs.
Yeah, it creates more jobs, but the people, the jobs they create are still wages that aren't livable. Like,
I don't know what that means. What's a livable wage to you?
I explain.
What's now this was a number of years ago, but when I first moved out on my own, when I left my parents' house, I was working in radio. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this was around 1990. So this was a long time ago, right? 1990, 91. What do you think? I was on the radio 6 days a week, right? In 1991. What do you think I was getting paid? An hour. I was paid by the hour. What do you think? What would be a living wage?
I have no idea.
$5 an hour.
Okay, how did you live?
I got by. I ate a lot of Taco Bell.
Okay, so what I'm saying
the dollar menu at McDonald's. I got by.
Okay.
But I don't make that now.
Okay, but hold on a second. There's tons of money flowing in. Why are we forced to eat Taco Bell right now?
No one's forced to eat Taco Bell. Listen, this is okay. I'm gonna share something with you. Okay.
This doesn't make sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Absolutely. Listen to this. Okay. Now, this is when I was young and starting out, when I was making $5 an hour, okay, I would hear people say what I'm about to say to you, and I didn't understand it. But now that I'm a grown-up, I understand. People are paid what they're worth. What do you think?
Come on, bro.
Yeah, what do you think I mean by that?
Come on, man.
No, I'm serious. Like
are
how?
You dead serious?
Well, like as an example, if I went down the street to Taco Bell or McDonald's, and got hired to work at Taco Bell or McDonald's, how much should they pay me an hour?
Okay, let's just skip that.
No, we're not going to skip that. No, we're not. It's my show. It's not yours. Okay. How much should McDonald's pay someone? Rashida Tlaib thinks the minimum wage should be $25 an hour. Is that enough?
Well, I mean, if you want to sit there and do the average amount of rent and electricity and all that stuff and come up that way, fine. But what I'm saying is, why the hell? What is what Elon Musk did when he went and looked for the money and didn't find shit? What is that? How much is that worth?
Well, I would argue that one of the problems you have, the reason you're not as successful as you would like, is listen to the way you talk.
It's not that.
You've used profanity how many times in this conversation? You're a low-class person. Why are you using profanity?
You lied how many times in this country?
Not once.
You misled people.
Not once. Let me give you an example. Let me get back to this McDonald's thing.
You're saying conservatism is about conserving moral values. That's not even the main part of conservatism. If that's the point.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. No, when I made the statement that people are, you're talking about a living wage. People are paid what they are worth. What I mean by that is people are paid based on the skills that they bring to the table and how much their skills are worth. You can take anyone off the street and have them working the drive. If you took someone off the street right now, within 3 hours, maybe even less, you could have them running the drive-thru at McDonald's without any prior experience. So that job's not worth a lot of money because it's a low-skill job.
Okay, but what we're doing now is kind of switching the conversation.
The conversation's whatever really, I want it to be. It's my show.
Well, hold on. Well, see, now you got an ego. I'm not trying to bat your ego. All I'm saying is that it's not about how much we're getting paid. It's how much things cost. They're not worth how much they're costing. They inflated the eggs. They inflated a bunch of things just because they could.
Well, let me ask you this. This is interesting. You say, okay, hold on a second. How many streaming apps do you have?
Don't hang up on me.
You're on the air. I didn't hang up on you. You know, what kind of phone? What kind of phone do you have? Do you have an iPhone? What kind of phone do you have?
I just have a regular Samsung phone.
A regular Samsung. How many apps do you have that you stream on?
I don't.
You have no Netflix. You have no Amazon Prime. No Paramount Plus. No HBO Max. Nothing.
I think I have Prime. That's it.
Well, you know, the thing about a cell phone, you said, how did I make it? Right? How did I get by at $5 an hour?
No.
Well, excuse me. This is the problem. This is the problem that people like you have. Okay?
I didn't say
you want to live like someone who owns 6 figures a year without making it.
That's not true. Eggs cost, I said the cost of things, not what we make.
Eggs have gone down dramatically. Eggs have dropped in price like by 90%.
They got a lawsuit filed.
So what do you do?
They had to give away a bunch of
eggs. So eggs are like $1.65 a dozen now.
No, that's not true, sir. What I'm saying, all I'm trying to say is that it's not so much how much the wage is. And you're saying you work for what you're worth. Okay, fine. If I'm worth so much,
well, then you know what you do. Fine. You know what you do. But you get a second. You get a second job.
Let me finish my point. The point is the eggs, the milk, the juice, the meat isn't worth what they're charging. The inflation is self-inflicted.
Then eat something else. Eat something else.
Nah, don't say that, because when we said
live within your means, or get a second job.
Can I make my point?
Yeah, sure.
Make my point?
Oh, you've made it.
All I'm saying is that when we were like, people are out here hurting, people need things, people that are less fortunate. When we said just give, they don't want to give. They don't want to give.
Okay, let me. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain. Hold on a second here. You know what you're missing. You know what people like you are missing is something called a work ethic. Okay, now right now.
I have 3 jobs.
Okay. You have 3. What are they? What are your 3 jobs?
I'm a carpenter. I have a renovations business, and I'm a security guard.
Okay. Well, that's good. Then you're doing okay.
But what I'm saying is, like, I'm also trying to fund a skate night for little kids.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is before they used to have money for like that for people for the government to help out on certain things. Now we took that away. Fine, that's perfectly fine.
Why are you trying to set up a thing for little kids? Are you a dad?
Yeah. I'm a dad.
So how much does it take to have skate night for little kids? What is it? A skating rink?
Well, for half of the kids of the school to go, it's going to cost about $3,700.
To do what? To have one skate night?
Yes.
So what do you? Why does it cost so much? Where's the $3,500 go?
$20 for admission and skates. And
how many
180
kids?
That's about. It's 180 kids. That's about $3,600.
Can their parents pay?
Everyone can pay, but the point is, I'm trying to have a free.
Why should it be free? If the parents can pay, why should it be free?
It's not that the parents can pay. It's that the point is.
Listen. We're wandering all over creation.
Let me finish my point.
One more sentence, and then I'm going to move on because you're all over creation here.
No, I'm not. All I'm saying is that there should be programs.
There are
for communities.
Yeah.
For children to do things for free.
To do things for free. There is. You can ride your bike around the neighborhood.
There is.
You can go for walks. You can go to parks. You can go to the library.
Right. But once
you can go to the playground.
I'll make my point. I'll make my point real quick.
No, you've been making thanks for the call. You've been making nothing but points. Oh my goodness. There's all kinds of free stuff for kids to do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi, it's Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee.
Hey, so listen, I've been listening to you try to talk over this brother and not let him talk, but I want to let you know that in my opinion, we can be dominant in the world because we cannot be competed with in terms of sports and in terms of music.
Okay.
The one we don't dominate is violence.
Okay.
That you got.
What are you talking about? Are you okay? You sound a little unhinged. That guy you said that guy's your brother? Your siblings?
Hey, you didn't hear a word I said.
You said he's your brother. You and he are siblings?
No, I didn't say anything.
You said brothers.
Like that.
You said that your brother.
Oh boy.
Are you Catholic? You in the same Catholic?
I think you have a learning.
You said your brother. I was talking to your brother.
You heard the word brother. Good for you.
Well, brother usually means, to me, it means sibling. Unless you're in the Catholics, you're in the same order together.
We can dominate you people simply because we dominate music and we dominate sports.
Okay.
If we were violent as we were as talented musically, you wouldn't be speaking to me.
Okay. All right, Renee. Oh, boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Was that a threat he made against me? Yeah. Oh, boy. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take a quick break and be right back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Brian, this is Joan from Tampa Bay. I just got to say, Jupiter Joe Thomas, I called him. I almost fell off my chair. A 5-year annuity. I get a hefty monthly allowance, and I don't even touch my principal.
I thank you, Joan in Tampa Bay, for taking my advice. And those of you out there that have not yet done it, take advantage of the no-charge consultation that Jupiter Joe Thomas offers. I'm going to give you the number. It's 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. And Joan in Tampa Bay, I think you might be the new Jupiter Joe Thomas commercial.
Well, it's a win-win situation. You never lose your principal.
Exactly. Yeah, guys. Again, the number for Joe Thomas, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. Are you looking for jewelry that's as unique as you are? Then check out Kita Luxury on Etsy, where every piece is handcrafted with passion, artistry, and the natural beauty of genuine crystals and gemstones, inspired by a love for one-of-a-kind bohemian designs. Kita Luxury was created with a simple mission to make extraordinary handmade jewelry accessible to everyone. Behind every creation is a talented team of skilled artisans, each bringing their custom expertise to metalwork, stone cutting, beading, and fine jewelry craftsmanship to produce stunning wearable works of art. Whether you're searching for a breathtaking statement necklace, elegant earrings, handcrafted bracelets, beautiful rings, or meaningful jewelry for both men and women, you'll discover pieces that celebrate your individuality and personal style. Every design is carefully handcrafted using high-quality, natural materials, creating jewelry that's more than an accessory. It's a reflection of who you are. Whether you're shopping for yourself or searching for the perfect gift, Kita Luxury offers timeless handcrafted jewelry designed to inspire, delight, and be treated for years to come. These healing crystals are some of the best healing jewelry on Etsy. Visit KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. That's KEETA luxury.etsy.com. KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. Handcrafted jewelry that tells your story. KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. Are you looking for your next unforgettable read? Then order your copy of the thrilling first book in the Deep Time Cascade series from author Mattis Czech, The Redenor Legacy, available on Amazon. What begins as a routine geological expedition in the remote mountains of Norway turns into a discovery that could rewrite everything we know about Earth's history. 4 geologists uncover an ancient underground system buried deep beneath the rock. It's filled with mysterious symbols, hidden chambers, impossible technology, and secrets that were never meant to be found. As strange events take place around the planet, the team realizes they're racing against time. The deeper they descend, the more they uncover a forgotten intelligence and one shocking truth. If you love high-tech science fiction, ancient mysteries, edge-of-your-seat adventure, and stories that blend science with global suspense, this is a book you will not want to put down. The Redenor Legacy, from author Mattis Czech, is available right now on Amazon and free with Kindle Unlimited. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Adam from New York.
Hey, New York. What's on your mind?
You're talking about the communists and the Nazis and stuff.
Yes,
but
the Democrats.
Did you know that, yes, but did you know that John F. Kennedy admired Adolf Hitler?
That's not true.
You want me to read you a speech that he wrote about Adolf Hitler?
I'd have to hear it. I'd have to see it and hear it in his voice. No. Why would he say? Well, hold on. Now, slow down a second. When you talk about, think about what you're saying. Okay, John F. Kennedy was a senator in the 1950s. Excuse me for speaking. Well, then, all right, but then don't listen to me. John F. Kennedy was a senator in the 1950s and a veteran of the Second World War. Okay, what kind of senator would be praising Adolf Hitler in the 1950s? Please give me a break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Jared. I'm calling from Florida.
All right. What's up, Florida?
Hey, what's up, man? I watch your show all the time.
Well, thank you.
So, what are we talking about today?
I've been on the air for a while. I mean, you had to be watching the call. I'm not going to run stories by you. This isn't a story pitch meeting.
Well, I get that. I was just listening to what the other guy was saying about jobs.
Hold on while I answer all these other lines that are coming in. Yeah, all right. You were listening and what?
I just thought I might have a good 2 cents to add to what he was saying.
Oh, let's see. Let's see. I haven't heard any yet, but let's see.
Sure. I work a really good job in Florida, actually. I'm a certified pool operator. I make about $44,000 a year.
Great.
I have a great boss.
Yeah.
Takes really good care. I really love the company I'm working for. But even with me and my girlfriend working full time, I mean, things are kind of tough, with gas prices.
Well, that's called life.
We've been having to Sure, it is. This is something everybody has to deal with. I just thought that Trump would make things better, golden age and all that.
Uh-huh. Well, gas prices have been dropping, Not only are gas prices dropping, in Miami, I'm in Florida too. I'm in South Florida, okay? In Miami, gas prices have gotten below $3 a gallon. Right down the street from my house, I can get gas for, I just looked it up on Gas Buddy, $3.35 a gallon in my neighborhood right now. Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Trump did that.
I'm just saying,
so you make $44,000 a year. What's your girlfriend make?
Like 30, a little bit less.
Okay, so you guys are making like $70,000 a year, and you're griping?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, in Florida, you need to make...
I live in Florida. I'm in Florida. I'm in South Florida. I know what Florida costs.
So how much do you need to live in Florida comfortably? 80,
well, that
000?
depends. That depends on what you want, what your lifestyle is.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. I agree with you. 100%.
You know?
And like I said, I have to make cutbacks in my sacrifices.
Well, it's called, there's a thing called living within your means. And if you and your girlfriend can't make it on $70,000 a year, you got some problems.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on.
Said, man, I try to budget, but sometimes things come up. I lost my insurance recently.
That's life. You lost. I don't have insurance. I haven't had insurance in like 15 years. I have not had health insurance for about 15 years, maybe longer.
Okay, so what do you do when you get sick or need to go to the doctor?
Oh, get this. I go to the doctor and pay.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous.
No, it's not. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than paying for health insurance. I go to the doctor maybe once every year or two, and I go to like a walk-in clinic. It costs me like $150, $200 a year.
That's a walk-in clinic. That's not a...
That's all I need, man. I got the cold. I got the flu. They give me, I got some problem. They give me the script. I go. It's $200 a year.
Okay, if you have medication, if you need...
Well, then I go to the I go to Walgreens, and I you know what I do? I pay for my medication. Shocker!
But I'm just saying, it's expensive. Insurance, is it not?
What?
For certain insulin.
If you tell them you don't have insurance, they'll give you a cheaper price than people that have insurance, and oftentimes they'll say, "Oh, we've got coupons." They have coupons on prescriptions. And they scan a coupon, and I go and I get a prescription for $15, $20.
Can I give you an example? Because my girlfriend, she takes like 3 different medications, and insurance is kind of picky on whether they want to cover them or not. So sometimes the GoodRx covers it, and other times they change it where it doesn't cover it. I don't understand why we can't make changes to the insurances.
Because we live in a capitalist system where we don't have the government take over business. I'm looking here in South Florida. I can get gas for $2.99 a gallon. That's the cheapest. I see another gas station $3.03 a gallon. That's pretty good. $2.99 a gallon. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it, man? $2.99 a gallon for gas.
Yeah, no, I'm paying like almost $4.
Well, you're out of your mind. You're in Florida?
What do you?
Where in Florida are you? Like what city is nearest you?
Fernando-ish.
Fernando, Florida? Let me see. Fernando, Florida. Let me see what I can find for you. I'm looking. Just get Gas Buddy. You're paying how much?
About $3.89 to $3.60.
Oh, well, $3.60. Yeah, I see $3.64. That's not $4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't say $4.
You said about $4. You said about $4. $3.64.
$4.
Yeah. Well, you live in an area that's a little more expensive. I can get it for $2.99 in South Florida.
Yeah, man. I said you're lucky. I wish I could get it for $2.89. I wish it would hit us.
$2.99. $2.99. Really, what's the difference in a month between $3.64 and $2.99 a gallon? So you're talking about 66 cents, right? 66 cents difference. How many gallons of gas do you use a month?
So I don't really pay for the gas truck, for the gas in the truck, like I use for work. But honestly, like $40, 45 instead.
Wait
of
a minute,
30
you don't buy your gas?
What? No. I think you're misunderstanding. My boss pays for the gas for the company truck.
Okay, but your regular gas, how many gallons of gas do you buy a year?
A year? I don't know. When I fill up, it's like 12 gallons. So it costs me like $35.
Okay, so let me do the math. 66 cents times 12 gallons is $7.92 a month.
Yeah.
You're complaining to me about $7.60 a month? Your girlfriend needs to find a new man that can provide for her. Listen, I got to run for a break. Okay, well, I'm going to take a quick break, and some breaking news just dropped that I'm going to share with you after the break, all right? My name's Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, where MAGA comes to talk. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Have you ever wondered why you just can't let someone go? You've probably read self-help books that tell you to move on or just let it go. But what if the real problem isn't that you can't let go? It's that no one has ever explained why you're holding on in the first place. Release Your Mother-in-Law from author Carolina Novitska, available on Amazon, offers a refreshingly different perspective. Instead of telling you to stop thinking about someone, Release Your Mother-in-Law helps you uncover what you're really attached to, whether it's approval, certainty, control, safety, or validation. Once you understand what's actually keeping you stuck, those endless mental replays of conversations and arguments finally begin to make sense. Written with warmth, humor, and insight, Release Your Mother-in-Law is filled with practical, actionable exercises you can start using right away to break free from unhealthy emotional patterns and move forward with confidence. If you've ever replayed an argument in your mind over and over, or struggled to let go of someone who still occupies your thoughts, Release Your Mother-in-Law is the book you've been looking for. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Release Your Mother-in-Law from author Carolina Novitska.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
All right. Well, here it is. This is just dropping. Now, this is just dropping from Red Wave Press. Breaking news. Okay. Maine U.S. Senate Democrat candidate Graham Platner's ex-girlfriend from 5 years ago claims he allegedly, highlight on allegedly, forced her to have sex with him, despite her repeated objections, according to Politico. I remember him grabbing my pelvis and being really forceful. I remember the specific moment where I thought to myself, like, this is no longer my choice, she told Politico. All right, let me pull up Politico. Oh, my goodness. It's coming down. Let's see here. Let me pull up Politico. If you're on hold, stand by. And see if I can find the latest update there. Okay, let's pull. Okay, here we go. Stand by. Okay, I'm going to pull up the story from Politico, and we'll go through it. My name's Brian, by the way. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Okay, this is Politico, and keep in mind, Politico is liberal. Okay, so Politico is a liberal source. Woman who dated Graham Platner says he sexually assaulted her in this allegation. The Maine Democrat denied the allegation and said any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue. Politico reports, this is an article, the byline is Jessica Piper and Adam Wren. A woman who dated Maine U.S. Senate candidate Graham Platner says he forced her to have sex with him nearly 5 years ago, despite her repeated objections, an allegation Platner denies. The woman, a 41-year-old Maine resident, detailed the alleged incident to Politico in 3 interviews over the past 2 weeks. Politico also spoke with a man that she dated and confided in the years after about the alleged incident, and review documents included emails between her and her therapist and messages between her and an acquaintance whom she warned against getting involved with Platner years before he ran for office. She said she had an on and off again relationship with Graham Platner, who is now the Democrat Senate nominee for Maine. Well, what do you expect? He's a Nazi. You know, by definition, Nazis are people of low moral character. For more than 2 years before he entered her Maine home uninvited one night in late 2021, deeply intoxicated, and forced himself on her while she repeatedly told him to stop, she alleges. She said she cut off contact with him after telling him the encounter was not consensual. I remember him grabbing my pelvis and being really forceful of me, she says. I remember the specific moment where I thought to myself, like, this is no longer my choice. Platner denied the allegations. These allegations are troubling, serious, and false. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue, Platner said in a statement. Okay, and let me pull up him. Let's give the devil his due here. Alrighty. Okay, here's Graham Platner's statement. Then I'll finish with her allegations.
Hold
on, let me cue this up. Yeah, this guy, if they keep him in after this, oh boy. But you know, remember, Politico's liberal, so this is being dropped by, and Politico not only is liberal, Politico is part of the Democrat establishment wing of the Democrats.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. Over the last 10 months...
This guy, nothing is true about him. He's got a Nazi tattoo. He's not a Nazi, right? A woman makes this allegation. It's not true. He's just a victim, right? Nothing is his fault. He hasn't done anything, Graham Platner.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. Over the last 10 months, I have been deeply humbled by the faith Mainers have put in me. You have welcomed me into your homes, into your places of work.
Not anymore.
Into your restaurants, into your houses of worship. You have shown that a different kind of politics, one that puts the interests of people over corporations, is not just possible, but is inevitable.
Well, listen, I have this radical idea. Some of you liberals may agree. Women should be believed, right? Isn't that what they said? Women should be believed. So what are you Democrats going to do?
This movement we have built, the largest volunteer base in the history of Maine politics, the hundreds of thousands of grassroots donors, and the supporters across the ideological spectrum, we were united in a love of Maine, a belief that our politics must change, and a focus on defeating Susan Collins. So, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love, the movement I belong to, and the goal of defeating Susan Collins. Those were the goals when we launched this campaign, and they remain my goals today. On June 9th, 154,058 Mainers, the most in primary history, voted to reject a broken politics beholden to Washington and the donor class. They voted for hope, for change, to take back our economy, to take back our power, and to take back our Senate seat. Throughout it all, you never turned your back on me, and I will not turn my back on you now. Every one of you deserves to see that vision come to fruition and see Susan Collins defeated. And we will use every tool at our disposal to do so. As Maine goes, so goes the nation. As always, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no God bless. Oh, boy, what do you think? Is he going to make it? If you're on hold, stand by. The alleged victim previously described reckless and unsettling behavior by Graham Platner to the New York Times, but says she didn't go public with the specific assault claim because she didn't want to be known as a rape victim. She said she later felt compelled to go, and by the way, she's I'm not using her name, but she gave her name and everything in all these articles and everything else. She's not hiding. These are, she's being very out front. I'm just not using her name. She said she felt compelled to go public about her experience because the reaction to the New York Times story was dominated by controversy about another woman who alleged Platner mistreated her, and she faced attacks because of her ties to the Republican Party. My part of the story was just a read-over, she says in an interview, and the story was the other woman in the accusations of her being politically motivated. She said she was torn over coming forward in part because she agrees politically with Graham Platner. Boy, that's really sad. She believes politically with Graham Platner. They both have Trump derangement syndrome, so, she was going to let this just go. One of the reasons I didn't come forward sooner was the huge moral conflict that I had between supporting his politics, but not just supporting him as a person. I just want the truth out there. I just want to have a whole scope of who he is as a person. And, of course, I played you Platner's statements. Oh, boy. How long till he resigns, guys? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, you ever notice the World Cup?
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Afternoon, Brian. It's Dot for 9 out of California.
Hey, oh man, it's all over for Graham Platner.
It was over for a while. It's basically
how about that? He got Schumer's endorsement.
Okay, first of all, you are a connoisseur of political history, especially probably, with your historical background as far as, your education. But politically speaking, you are I would qualify you as basically along the lines of an expert, especially since you've been on the radio, which is over 30 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I know that you've been watching this thing go on. This is my opinion. My opinion is that because the Democrats have been solely anti-Trump, they have no platform to actually speak up or actually run on. So guess who ends up coming in and taking it over? The DSA, right? So then they have no people to actually run. So they have no way of actually ensuring that what they are running are actually any quality candidates. Plus, being the DSA is basically you're a communist. So in regards to this main character, basically the Democrats are everything anti and is that you could possibly think of. They're fascists, they're anti-Semites, they're everything that this country is against. And now they want to end up, which they have been actually, is platforming and endorsing, a Nazi. Allegedly he assaults women frequently, because this is the second or third.
Yeah, but she's using the R word.
Well, I understand that, but that's an assault, right?
She's saying rape. She used the rape
word.
Well,
that's right. I understand that. I don't want to use that word, so I'm saying assault. And I believe that there's another individual that a couple of months ago who was alleging that he also assaulted her. Am I incorrect?
Yes, there was another woman who talked, but she was a Republican, so they discounted her.
Okay, and now his current wife, while they were either engaged or something, was also doing inappropriate texting.
Ava Braun. Ava Braun Platner is her name.
So what I'm saying is that this guy is basically just, I don't want to say that he's a monster, but he's completely inappropriate. His character.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This guy, this Graham Platner, okay, he's got the endorsement of every top Democrat, right? Bernie Sanders, AOC, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, all of them, okay, have been behind Graham Platner. The liberal pundits in the media have been behind Graham Platner too. He has mainstream support and endorsements. And
I understand that, but they don't. But they don't care.
Well, are they going to care about this? Because
no, they don't.
I don't agree with you.
Don't.
I don't agree with you because this came out. This came out through Politico. Politico reported this.
Right.
Politico is left-wing Democrat Party publication, hardcore Democrat publication, and they're the ones that broke this. This isn't Breitbart or Fox or New York Post. The liberals broke this story. The Democrats broke this story. And they've been working on it for 2 weeks, verifying everything with multiple sources, boyfriends, friends, all kinds of people, her therapist, everything.
Well, I pray that they do care and actually decide not.
Well, they do. Obviously, they
further.
do. If the Democrats put it in their publication, they do care.
Right, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to continue to actually see this whole thing through.
He's a Nazi, and
know.
the R word has just been used by a Democrat woman in a Democrat publication.
I completely understand what you're saying. We'll see how it plays out. Like
well,
I said,
you're
one that has seen politics being politics. So I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I just have this feeling that these people really do not care. I mean, just short
if they don't care,
murder,
why did Politico run the story and corroborate it with multiple independent sources? Her therapist, multiple friends, a boyfriend, text messages. There was electronic communication between her and her therapist. All this before he ran for office. Why would Democrat Politico, liberal Politico, go to such extremes to corroborate the story if they didn't care?
Well, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to run him. I'm hoping that they actually end up, seeing that this particular person is not worthy of being, put in the running.
Okay, Laura Loomer just posted on X, that there's going to be another woman that comes out that was with him in Iraq that is expected to make a similar claim. All right, hey, listen, I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. So, and, one thing, I always tell you about Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer's always right. So, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Kenneth, and I'm from Maryland.
Hey, Maryland, what's on your mind?
First, I want to say happy birthday, America.
Absolutely.
The next thing I want to say...
Here we go.
I've listened to a few of your callers that's called, and to these Gen X or Gen Zs, whatever they call them today, life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
Yes.
For a guy who sit here and don't pay for gas and don't even know how much he's paying for gas, you're stupid. For another one that calls in and talk about my brother and his strength and we can rule, stupid. Anybody that knows these people should discontinue their friendship with them. The women should run from these people are stupid.
And when I put the math to the guy that it's only $7.80 a month you're griping about, right? I mean, give me a break.
You're living in the greatest country in the history of this world. How dare you, as a grown man or a woman, to get on these open lines, and many people are listening to you. I pray that these people don't have children.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
It is crazy.
Even
the other day, one of your good friends called in and loved it, but he didn't fully investigate the story, and until you came back and you do stuff right in front of them. Just investigate, do your research.
Oh, you're talking about the Walmart parking lot shooting, Richie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do your homework. These people refuse to read. They refuse to research. They want everything handed to them. Go to another. If you don't like this country, they got airports all over the place.
They do.
Please get a one-way ticket and don't come back. But for those of us that want to do well and see this country for what it is, and thank God we got a president like Donald J. Trump.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're very
These
lucky.
people are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yes.
should, oh gosh. Put a bullseye down on their
All
head.
right. Okay. All right. Now, you were doing good. We don't need to go further with that, but I agree with what you said prior to that. Guys, if you would like to not just support my program, but have access to my exclusive live streams, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description. I do a live stream pretty much every day on Patreon. It's an exclusive live stream only available to Patreon supporters. And it's a troll-free zone. None of these idiots are in there. And I talk about things that I cannot talk about here or anywhere else. And I cover them all on my Patreon live streams. So become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description. Now, when you go there, you'll see an option to join for free. If you join for free, you don't have access to any of the content. To have access to the content, you have to become a paying member. That starts at just $5 a month. And not only do you get access to the exclusive content that I post moving forward, you get access to the entire back catalog on my Patreon page as well. So again, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the episode. Support me, support the program, support all my content, and get access to all of the exclusive materials there, including the Patreon-only live streams. If you become a top Patreon supporter, you get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every episode. The names you will hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SF Jr., Christine, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, Lizep, Shauna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, Rick, Michael, and Robert R. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. Okay? So we finally got, during the show, it broke. A woman has come forward and used the R word against Graham Platner, a Democrat woman, and it was reported in Democrat Politico. So he says they're false. Do you think he's going to drop out? Do we want him to drop out? We'll find out. And I'll be covering this. Much more will be coming out overnight. And Laura Loomer just posting on X that another woman from his time in Iraq is expected to come forward. So that's pretty out of left field. You know, Laura Loomer got that from a credible source about Graham Platner. Looks like Trump was right yet again. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I will see you first thing tomorrow morning. Those of you that are new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. Liking the video gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found my YouTube channel. And if you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, make sure you subscribe, all right? My name is Brian Craig. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Take care.